Greetings, loyal listeners from across the galaxy. You may recall from our last mission log that the now slightly larger crew aboard the Zaoshan emerged from the warp deep in conglomerate-controlled territory, and after the space equivalent of a Finderbender visited a touristy pleasure planet, and after some harmless hijinks, decided to seek out something seedier to do elsewhere, so left the Fungamo Land planet and scouted out the nearby area, hoping to find some freelance work, and were directed to Algandoon, and were followed there by a suspicious ship. And now, Dungeon to the Stars continues.
We'll follow the traffic for a month. Another 30 days gone.
Alright, so as you guys near the planet you're heading towards, a lot of the traffic veers off. You'll have a lot less coverage, as there's only two ships now around you, one on either side, that are kind of going towards the planet you're going to. One other ship is following sort of from above and slightly behind. And it's getting closer now that there's less traffic around. It knows there's less threat. So it's sort of like coming in from above, down at you like a hawk. You guys are now approaching what is marked on your map as Algandoon. On your way here, you pass another planet. You didn't see a whole lot about it from where you were. Gaseous atmospheres you couldn't see through, so unless you didn't want to swing by because you're being followed, probably. That's where a lot of the vehicles field off towards. But soon to be another conglomerate planet that had a thick gaseous atmosphere. You guys are going to arrive at Algandoon with these three other vessels. You got a knowledge nature is probably the best thing for you, Zaoshan.
I rolled a 22.
Alright, you can scan the planet as you approach. It's got a murky, poisonous atmosphere, difficult to see through, a swampy planet. The surface is a liquid of some sort, not water. A viscous, swampy liquid. You definitely sense natural life beneath the surface, and you sense large clusters of natural life on these floating beacons throughout the swamps that are lit up like towers floating in the swamps. And you also sense a smaller amount of life, but some on other floating platforms, seeming to be skimming closer to the swamp, but in different areas. Not quite as crowded as the last one you left, but still busy. But more wildlife, for sure. The swamp area, nasty shit. Large floating structures with lights that seem to be the most attractive thing to the ships that were following you here. Two of them split off and go towards two different of these larger floating lit up vessels. As you kind of head towards the planet, the predatory vessel following close behind you.
First things first is I'll wake up everybody.
Who all are you waking up there, Zaoshan?
Of course, Tomoko. Gotta wake her up.
Yeah, number one.
She pretty much can't function without her, and I like her the best.
That's fair.
Wake up my son, Argyle, to see if I can do something about his amnesia. Probably second best out of everybody, because he's my son.
He's made from material from your planet.
Collie, it's always good to have a 10-foot storm of claws, especially when you're coming to an unknown planet. And then let's wake up Zerti, even though I cannot pronounce her name adequately. Yeah, there's one hologram waiting for them to say, good morning, everyone!
Good morning.
Zaoshan continues and says, it has been approximately 90 days spoken.
That's hilarious. It was supposed to be way shorter than that.
Yes, I decided to use my free time to work on projects without you. I have weaponized plants, though.
I'm excited to see the plants.
Yes, the kudzu has been doing very, very well.
And of course, the fact that Zaoshan named it kudzu, those are two root words put together in your native tongue, which you can understand sort of already with the knowledge nature roll, sort of the nature of this plant, if you would like.
Kudzu is Calaharan for entangling vine. The sound in the middle of kud seems to imply voraciousness, so it's a voracious entangling vine.
Can I ask a question?
Or that will predate upon it, keep it in check aboard the ship.
How does it spread? Is it spores based?
We could probably work out a seed dispersal method to be able to disperse it from on high.
Or put it inside of little containers and throw those containers in. And then it's like Instagarden.
Seed bombs.
Exactly. And it will dominate any arable land, which may reduce biodiversity on the whole, but a lot of these conglomerate worlds have none to begin with.
So it's a good start for conglomerate worlds.
Exactly. We'll make them far more green than they already are.
We're so good at this.
At this point, you're about 2 minutes from the atmosphere of Algandoon. Hover around it or enter it, but that's about how much time you gave yourself.
Can I roll a perception check?
Yeah, if you want to give 2 minutes for your crew to go to wherever part of the ship they want to go to and get close enough, yeah.
Yeah, so I rolled a 29 perception. I'm looking for civilizations, areas of infrastructure, construction, and building.
Yeah, with that high of a roll, you have no problem finding all of the signs of civilization on this planet. They seem to be clustered together right now. The planet is covered in a noxious gas that seems to be released from this orange foaming swamp. And all the signs of civilization are clustered together. There are 3 large ships submerged partially in the swamp that have hotel-like or tall building-like structures coming out of them. Surrounding them are like flat, hovering parking decks, sort of 100, 200 feet above the swamp. The three largest structures seem to be floating in the swamp.
That sounds delightful. I love orange noxious swamps.
You would probably find nothing wrong with it, other than the fact that the air would be poisonous to the race of Shin Kalahar, so Tomoko would be in danger of breathing that air. So, other than that would be your only immediate concern. Besides that, the ship following you, I guess.
When anybody gets to the bridge, especially Tomoko, I'll call attention back that we've been pursued the entire time of our voyage.
You've been followed for a while by a ship. Does not appear to be conglomerate make, although it does have conglomerate add-ons and things like that. It doesn't appear to be what you would assume would be an official conglomerate ships. They also have all the conglomerate ships have the same boring kind of make to them, more utilitarian than style. This one has a little more panache. Anyone that's on the bridge can roll a knowledge local, know anything about it.
22.
21.
Oh yeah, both of you guys are about the same knowledge here, but you'll both recognize the marking on the side of the ship almost immediately. It's a very familiar star logo, known throughout the conglomerate, Talgan Gadoo's All-Stars. Talgan Gadoo is a former famous space pirate that used to be a thorn in the side of the conglomerate until they sort of bought him out somehow, and now he trains buccaneers, pirates that work for the conglomerate, his all-stars, and they get their own ships and sort of do pirating on behalf of the conglomerate. They no longer pirate conglomerate ships, but they pirate things for the conglomerate. That's sort of the agreement. They haven't fired upon you yet, but they are following, not menacingly closely, but like Zalshon said, for a while.
I don't trust that. No, fuck that.
There are two other ships in the area, but Zalshon can attest the ship's been following more suspiciously a lot longer.
Yes, 30 days on similar trajectories. They may just be coming to Algan doing mercenary work, or they are coming to kill us. Perhaps we should engage them and kill them first. Reduce velocity, take up an orbit, and see if they also take up an orbit.
I'm gonna get on the gun, the rear gun.
It is always good to be near one of the weapons consoles.
The rear land.
Sort of Argyle and says, you should get on one of the weapons consoles.
They also don't enter the planet or land anywhere. They sort of just hover with you. A distance behind, but it's weird that they're not landing or going anywhere.
Is this a game?
The game of chicken, which, as I understand it, is a small bird for food.
Oh, it now started out happy and then went sad.
Let's reduce our speed, see if they keep the same interval, or if they allow us to float. I recommend everybody get on a gun who can get on a gun, please.
They still continue to follow you, menacingly.
Yeah, let's continue to reduce that interval as time goes on.
You get slower and slower, and they get slower and slower. They hold the same distance. They don't get within lance range, but otherwise, yeah, they maintain a safe firing distance.
After, all these analytics are complete, Zalshon will say to everyone, these pirates seem like cowards.
So, you kill it?
I
I think we
believe
should
that
try
they
and
are going
talk
to
to them.
present the land wherever we do, and ambush all of you on the ground, which is an equally foolhardy effort for them as well.
They will die.
That is one thing I respect about you, Nikali. You embody what the Shin Kalahar call the way of the predator.
It is natural. Can we hail them?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's be over
You have
there.
communications equipment.
Be like, you want some of this, bitch?
Oh,
Bring
be
it on.
nicer.
Do you engage communications, Zalshon? That's up to you.
A hologram, a scale hologram, of course, appears as a small cat-like fox from Zerhi and says, would you mind doing the talking?
So you've picked up on the fact that Zirhi is charming.
No problem.
The hologram bows to you.
Nice.
Attempt to open communication. Just audio.
Hello, it is I, Zoe.
No reply. Communications are
Hello,
definitely
Zoe.
going out. This time you get a ping back, requesting visual.
Focus visual on Zerhi. Yeah, I'd like to do
As long as no one crowds the camera or anything, as long as you tell them to stay camera frame
I bet
distance.
we've got multiple cameras too.
Yeah, yeah.
Angles I could do from the bridge. Check with Zerhi via text message, but she's fine with their visual.
Absolutely, darling.
Alright, so screen illuminates in front of you, created by the magic of the Zalshon, probably all bugs or something. But it creates, through these dotted, lit up insects, the form of a human face, wearing a fancy outfit with a star on the chest, half of its head shaved, and another half of its hair combed over to the side, purple and red. She introduces herself, Captain Letha.
Oh, hello there, darling. How are you today?
Izzy.
I love that star on your chest. Do tell me all about it. What is it like? Where did you get it? How long have you had it?
Letha holds up her finger and thumb in the shape of an L up to her forehead. It says, I am one of Talgan Gadoo's All-Stars. You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow.
So I understand.
She says the whole motto, and says she heard that there were some drug smugglers in the area, and they were sent to check it out. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Zirhi
She actually...
What? Absolutely not, darling.
says, well, this is the Odin's butthole, correct?
No, No.
Bluff check. You're not really lying. You are covering something up, though. I think you did hear it called that.
22 on my bluff check.
The guys match your sense motive, so they're gonna be confused more than anything else. Records here, scanning Zodin's butthole. I want to get your tags checked. Is the captain aboard? We're looking for Dr. Paracelsus?
The ship is its own captain and has elected me as its representative, darling.
Well, do you mind landing? We can come aboard and check for any contraband. I'm sure you have nothing to hide, nothing to worry about.
You have absolutely nothing to worry about, darling. Please proceed with docking.
No, cut comms immediately.
Comms cut. Screen goes dark. Time to roll for initiative.
Roll that. Two initiative.
222s?
Yes.
5. I rolled an natural 1.
12. Close with them and fire on them using rapid shot, and certainly I should get a prize because they haven't acted and they assume that we're trying to dock.
I've got enough beers to go for that.
Nice, I like that. Let's have another. Rolled 26 my first hit.
That's a hit.
That's 4 damage, and I got a 21 hit on my second one.
Ooh, just barely, but still a hit.
That is 7 damage. I would like to also just transfer just audio of an overlapping mix of any screaming predator animal sound that I have mixed on top of each other.
They can, of course, cut that communication if they want to, but you're going to try and keep saying that noise.
Yeah.
You keep
So
saying
just the
noise.
colleagues.
Collie's Blood War is probably in there somewhere, but this is the sound of crocodiles, birds,
Yeah.
hippopotamus. Yeah, but I want
There
to
you go.
like all of them at the same
Yeah,
time.
Matt, both elbows on the keyboard, all the animal roars at once.
I'm gonna try and guess what they are. I'm trying.
Totally distracted by the animal noises. Zirhi.
I use legacy weapon on the ship's guns because I have it as a focus power.
And that's your standard for this turn, is casting that on
Yeah,
yourself?
so basically, Zerhi pulls out a bullwhip that she has on her side,
Uh-huh.
and she cracks it on the floor of the ship.
These guys now fire 5 times on your ship. You got a 22 on your AC. That's 5 damage. You got a 23 on your AC.
No,
That's 5 damage. I got a 20 not natural on your AC.
that's a hit.
5 damage. I got a 13.
Miss.
No damage. So I rolled a 5, so that's a miss. On to
Yep.
Argyle.
I'm also absolutely terrified of the weapons panels.
Oh yeah, and the chairs.
And the chairs, yes. And I think I need morale boosting spell.
You may not even know what you're doing, but you're gonna grunt and flex some muscle you don't even know you have to boost the spirit of your allies or yourself.
Accidentally, of course, yes. Swallow your fear. Level 1 cleric spell.
Ah, so they're not scared. They get a +2 to strength and con, +1 morale bonus to will saves, but a -2 to AC to subject suffering from a fear effect. It's frightened subject from running. So yeah, you make them not scared. Lasts for 10 minutes. So you give yourself a morale bonus. Yeah, you give yourself a pep talk.
You can do this,
Essentially,
man.
I have thrown a level 1 spell aside. I want to get on the gun next turn. I'm going to spend my turn casting the spell.
You still have a move, so you can move to a gunner seat if you want. You just can't shoot. You'll hop into a chair even though they don't scare you anymore because you talked yourself into being brave. Tomoko, you see Argyle being brave and getting into a seat, and when you can tell he's doing it with a little bit of trepidation, he seems to have mustered the courage and gotten into a seat. Zalshan, of course, could swing around to one side or the other so the guns are easier to fire. You'll have access to the Chinko cannons from one side, straight on if you strafe.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna hop onto the
Remember that the Pachinko cannons have been enhanced by Zerhi.
That sounds like a positive word that you there.
Yeah,
So
it's like
I'm gonna
tutorials
hop on that
popping up on
gun.
everybody's consoles. Provide things, some positive aphorisms.
So the one you're hopping into, Tomoko, is the one Zirhi whipped.
17.
Oh, miss.
Damn.
Kali.
Alright! Can I do Blowers 3? It's basically.
I don't deserve a reason that you couldn't. I'm okay with it, but you will notice that the 2 Pachinko cannons that have the ability to fire at this ship are occupado.
I'm using the lens.
It's,
See it?
Oh, you moved closer?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, if Zasha moved closer, then that's fine with me. That's on
22
me.
and 20.
Those are both hits.
13 damage, and then it's 9 damage.
Yeah, it's a nice big swipe out the front of the ship. It's definitely damaged after that. Back to Zaoshan.
Yeah, plink plink on these bit 26,
It's a hit.
and then a 21.
A hit also.
Alright, that's 8 damage and 4 damage.
There definitely are signs of distress for this ship now.
This is what passes for all stars.
Oh, dis. Zirhi.
She's gonna get in the gun and fire.
The only remaining Pachinko cannons are facing the wrong way. You could get a
so
lance
not
if
the
you would
back
like, but that's going to be a melee weapon, not a range weapon. I don't know what your strengths are.
either, so that doesn't matter.
All right, yeah, you can go for a lance then if you want. There is that.
For melee, it's an unnatural 20.
I get a reflex save, but it's still going to be a hit. I rolled a 2 for a reflex save. I rolled my shitty for you, so full damage on that.
That's what happens when you're a mage.
That's okay. You're still going to get that swipe from this
I got
nice
one.
weapon.
Sorry.
One
I don't
still.
believe
That was a
it
hit.
is.
That's
1
still
damage. They're going to fire one time and miss, and then start trying to retreat. You see them pulling away.
Disengage.
Yeah, they're going to disengage. They'll start pulling back now. I'm going to fire one more time as they pull back. Only a 16, though.
Are they
Yes.
technically threatened area? Because
They are, so you get an attack of opportunity, both Zirhi and Nikali. You get 1 swipe each.
that's a 21.
That's a hit.
Yeah, it's 10 damage.
17 on my side.
Alright, that's going to be a miss, unfortunately, but you did swipe at them one more time as they were trying to fly away. Argyle, you continue to let them fly away?
I'm going to attempt to target their engines.
Easy.
Well, I got a 16.
16's a
You know
miss.
what? Can I anti-hero them to die?
You can anti-hero them to die.
I just want to get that extra pot shot in. Would it kill it? How does it look?
I mean, it's not going to die from another hit, but it's very weakened, obviously.
Yeah, okay, never mind then.
I'll go ahead and use my anti-hero point.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, use your anti-hero point to cause something to happen so that Argyle gets a second shot.
22.
That's a hit this time.
Bam.
I got a 1.
Little pot shot there. Pew!
Messages pop up to encourage you to shoot those.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
Alright, so that'll be 2
There we go.
D8.
11.
Can I hold my
The
Brawler
lance.
Fury until Zhao Shan moves within range?
Okay, as long as it's something you don't have to like let go of if you're not attacking or something.
It's not something I have to let go.
Well, there's no reason for you to stop doing it. You can still be furious.
Alright, cool.
Alright, Zelshan, that's on to you as they're pulling away.
Or can I use a move action to get really close to them and then cast Entangle?
If you want to get that close, I might require a fly check to see how
Hell yes.
see how fly you are.
I love to make fly checks. I got a 24.
You like pull up and right beside him, you like drift sideways. You want to throw out some vines to try and grab him.
Absolutely.
So that'll be your entire turn, though. Of course, I get to roll a reflex save for those vines. Is that how that works?
Partial. If they fail, they gain Entangle.
I got a 14 reflex save, which I believe is probably a fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my wisdom is
Yeah.
too high.
Nikali, you're ready to action.
18.
Miss.
That was an 8. I'm gonna re-roll that with an anti-hero point.
All right.
Kill this. Oh, 24. Alright, and 15 damage.
This ship is in bad shape, for sure. Zirhi, now it's your turn. What you slinging at? You said 19? 19's just barely a miss. By inches. Whom. Alright, let's see what they do. They are going to try to pull away and warp. Since you are tangled to them, you now get to reflex save to find out whether you go with them or not. They try to warp. You want to disentangle or follow.
Okay. I got a 13.
Yeah, so unless somebody wants to, like, grab the wheel and do something, I'll let you guys go for they're trying to warp right now.
Alright, can I rip it in half with another?
That is a thing.
Okay, I'll use my hero point to let him reroll.
Alright. Well, you actually, with your hero point, you get to roll something. You can grab the wheel and try to
Oh.
pilot out of this. This is going to be you doing something since you're the hero. Fly check plus 8. Try to pull your way out of this.
I got a nat 20.
Oh.
Modified 23 plus the 8. So
With a nat 20, yeah, you're a perfect pilot. You pull up and away from this warp as it opens. It's going to close in about 12 seconds, but you pull away from it. It doesn't suck you guys in as it sucks on this other ship. As it pulls away into the warp, you see the vibrant colors. And there's like cracks in space that slowly start to close in as it sinks further into that warp. But you pulled away from it, luckily. Defeat another foe. Would you like to descend now into the atmosphere of the planet and check it out? Swamp is a thick, bubbling foam, like phloem. Sort of gritty. But yeah, you can descend. Like I said, everything's kind of clustered together. There seem to be 3 large ships that are like casino buildings. You've done your research. This is sort of like the Funglamo land you just left, but more independent. There are 3 independent buildings here, ill repute, of various designs and styles. And then the parking structures that surround them, they're like flat, hovering parking decks. Seem to have small huts built onto them, probably for whatever parking attendant is watching after them.
As we're landing, I would like to say, one day, I would like to go into a hotel with all of you.
The hotels here appear to have access for ships, but they appear closed and locked. You can try to contact them if you want to try to park in one of these larger structures instead of a parking deck.
No, I feel like parking lots are aesthetic.
A building like this is a big casino. The top parking decks are probably reserved for high rollers, prize fighters. It'd be probably a very important person to get in there anyway. And while you guys might feel very important to yourselves, you need to be important to them. Maybe something to work towards is parking indoors one day. Something you guys are excited. You guys will park on one of these big flat parking decks. There's room for about 10 ships on each one of these decks. And there are about a dozen surrounding these 3 large floating structures, a short distance away.
Which Which of the three floating structures?
There's one that is marked very well on the outside as Deluxard. It seems to be the most luxurious of them.
I would like to park closest to the deluxe yard, please.
Not a problem. There's ample parking. This place doesn't seem as busy as Unglamo Land. There are very few other ships here. Most appear to be about the size of your ship. Definitely a little quieter, a little seedier. You're on this greasy parking deck. You're parked. No one approaches you. Like I said, there is a hut that appears to be ticketing for you parking or something. You probably have to send someone out to pay them. They're probably not going to come hassle you. They'll probably also have any information and how to get to one of these casinos or whatever structures as you wish from that person here if you need local information. But like I said, the air is noxious, so you'll probably need air tanks. Or you can use your, of course, lines that you have, but then your allies can only go about 100 feet from the ship, which is fine to reach this hut. We need an oxygen source. I mean, later on you have the capacity to cast things like air bubble and stuff like that, and then you would have no problem.
I can cast air bubble.
Well, then you're good if you can cast it on yourself. You can just cast it on yourself and walk around and breathe as long as it lasts.
Yeah, but the key to spellcasting for D&D is preparation.
I mean, you can park here for a while and prep your spells to go out. Other than that, you need to gather up whatever air tanks you guys have, which I think is 2 or 3. I think most of them have under 10 minutes on them, but most of them can hold up to an hour of air. But usually, most of you guys that have traveled the planets know parking decks like this often offer air for sale.
Can we charge them with my airline?
That'd be possible too. Might take some time if you're willing to wait for it to charge manual.
We can spend some time doing general tasks like that, getting ready to go out.
Yeah, as long as you guys don't mind sitting in a parking lot for a minute, you can fill. As long as you guys are cool with the 3 suits you have having air tanks, you can fill those up to have an hour's worth of air. We'll say it takes an hour. You plug all 3 of them into your vines.
One for Zarheat and one for Tomoko, and can we put a bunch of air in Argyle's compartment?
I mean, I think if we're taking all this time to fill up these things, I mean, it's only going to be an hour per suit, so like 3 hours. How much time do you need to prepare your spells there, Argyle, even though you have no class right now, so how do you even know how to prepare spells?
I'm saying, like, the mindset. And if I could cast air bubble over my head, what if I'm out of spells? I have amnesia and can't do it right now.
Yeah, it could be trouble.
Have a backup.
Work on Argyle's amnesia.
Yeah, you could try to help him remember who he is. That would be okay. I'm just waiting for some sort of trigger to get him back. So, Argyle has to remember who Argyle is.
Spider silk.
He still has shit ton of spider silk, yeah.
I'm just gonna throw it at him. Be like, here.
You got spider silk all over you, it's sticky.
Remember.
It's a very eventful couple of hours on the ship.
Don't know what this. Why are you throwing this silk at me?
Hold on, let me put my arms in you like a headline. Remember that?
No, still nothing.
Tried
That wasn't special enough of a memory, I don't think.
to kill me. It was a great day.
Apparently didn't mean very much to him.
I'll get a hologram and it'll say, "No, that you've known me for probably your entire life."
Oh, I have?
You did not know that you knew me before you had met me, but you still did. I knew you. Where we are both from, the common place that we have, desert, called Addis. On Addis, there's a storage facility contained by the conglomerate that contained me. All of the rest do not remember ever. Gigantic log in it. All sorts of fungus. This are on the desert floor.
You can roll a will save if you want to try to remember that.
10.
Not ringing any bells.
My last hero point is
Uh-huh.
trying to get him to remember it.
I'll allow it.
My language.
I'm gonna let you, something's gonna fall on Argyle's head. What's gonna happen? You're gonna get fed up with Argyle not remembering stuff, and you're gonna, drop a coconut on his head. The coconut's gonna fall, and he's gonna be all of a sudden remember.
Alright.
It's all coming back to you, rushes back to you, all the memories come flooding back.
Macaulay keeps growing.
I imagine that a lot of it is my stuff.
All your stuff.
Just a pile of your stuff on the floor.
The hologram bows to Argyle and says, "Feeling better now, Argyle?
Better. No. Yes.
I'll take it."
Are you capable at this point of creating an air bubble for yourself with your mysterious powers from the planet Galahar?
Yes, I am capable.
Alright, so now you have 4 people capable of going outside of your ship.
1 minute per level.
Okay, so you only have 3 minutes now, is that where you're at?
Yeah.
That's the size you can cast it. So yeah, Argyle won't have a long time with air bubble, but can at least get to the shack, I'm sure.
Well, I can.
It's a level 1 spell, you probably cast that a couple times too, right? So maybe you can buy enough time to get to the... You guys aren't very far from the casino. As long as you don't spend too much time wasted between here and there, you should be fine.
Okay, cool.
You could probably even just wait till right when the ship door opens and then activate your air bubble. Maximize the amount of time. You guys want to walk over to the little shack that's on top of this parking deck. It's obviously whoever's in charge of this parking deck. Or you could do whatever else you want, but there's nothing else on this parking deck except the little shack, so...
Well, if we're gonna stick to tradition, then see if there's anyone else in the parking lot who wants to buy drugs.
There are other ships. There might be people aboard, but you don't see people walking around. There are no other people out outside on this parking deck except the person in the shack. So you guys approach the edge of the parking deck where this little hut. Very small space for a parking attendant to stay. But obviously they live there too. There's like a sleeping area, but it's not very big. It's a very humble abode. But there to take money for your parking, provide information, provide air for sale, and also there's signs, all the local rules, the conglomerate stuff, translator ability there. They have this kiosk, and also the ability to call for rides to the casino. All they're labeled in big signs in common language. It was a pretty primitive structure as far as space goes. Nothing fancy about this door, not locked by any sort of fancy mechanism or anything. Seems to swing right open, even in the breeze here in the swamp. The person inside is wearing a helmet as well, tube plugged into the wall, sort of reading something to themselves on a screen. You guys can see from far away.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't have any money.
Hello, my friend. How are you today?
Like startled. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see y'all pull up. Looks over and sees your ship. Well, that's a weird one. What kind of metal's that? It's all green and wrinkly.
Green wrinkly
Oh,
metal.
not like that. She's not weird.
That's no offense. It's just different, I guess. It's 5 gloms parking.
I have 5 gloves. I'll pay it.
Bloop, bloop. Take your flowers. Oh, thank you. He'll put up in this kiosk. It really helps brighten the place up.
Make everything better.
Oh, man, I really appreciate that. You seem like friendly folks. Any information or anything I can offer you guys? Need a ride to one of the 3 casinos? Air? You guys need an air refill?
Not about what we need, darling, but it's about what you need. I have something that I can offer you. Would you like to buy some drugs?
He's a parking attendant. Of course he wants
Diplomacy.
23?
Hell yeah! It's dull as hell out here. What you got? Moon kelp, no moon rocks, so this moon kelp. Oh, that sounds fun, I guess. Really gives me the munchies, though. Tell you what, you got any snacks to go with that food?
Darling, we've always got snacks.
Look, you hook me up with a snack platter, I'll buy some moon kelp off you.
Yes, a big double for the snacks.
You like vegetables, darling?
I'm not a huge fan, but this little kind of snack would be great. I guess as long as it's different than what I usually get out here.
Fruit.
Fruits, veggies, if you got a little plate of snacks, I'll buy that off you, too.
Can I cut the fruit in a way that the fruit is cut really shittily? And that makes it cheaper.
You can fuck up some fruit, dog. Yeah, you can just come out with a smashed plate of pulp. Like here. Like you bring him a plate of your scraps. Like, here's the fruit we didn't eat. Speaking of, you guys probably had some food after you came out of stasis, right? You guys probably want to subtract.
To have like a nice breakfast.
So you guys can bring this guy some leftovers from your big meal before you left, if you want. You guys will bring us, you'll go back to the ship, get some leftovers, come back. Now, the only thing with this is now it's taking time off of the time on Argyle's air bubble.
You can wait inside the ship.
You can fit inside the shack, and if you roll me diplomacy, Argyle, you might be able to wait inside the shack when the door's closed, it's climate controlled.
Just make small talk with him while we're gone getting fruit.
Roll diplomacy. That's convinced him to let me. 16.
You know what, that's nice enough. This guy doesn't seem threatened by you guys, even though he probably should with this huge Nikali there. Like, this guy seems like a dumb idiot, and he's gonna let you in his shack. There's obviously nothing you can take in there. There's nothing worth any value, and the gloms are scanned, and he doesn't get. It's not like there's anything of value to take. So once you're in the shack, you can see it's like just this guy, and he's watching stuff on a screen. There's not a whole lot in there to see or do. But you both fit in there, sort of cramped. So you're like in a phone booth type space with this guy.
Yeah, if Argyle is not there to make things shittier, then we can just give him good food.
Or you could wait till you show up with a plate and then hand it to Argyle. He can punch it a bunch of times and then hand it to him if that's what you. If you really just want the food to be shitty. But otherwise, yeah, you'll come back with normal fruit. You'll bring leftovers from your own breakfast. If Zhaoshan provided 20 green points total or per person? Total. That's still a lot of food, so it's not. You guys probably had some leftovers. That's a lot of food to eat, even for Nikali. Nikali ate a bunch. Probably whatever you guys didn't eat, Nikali ate, and then whatever's left over after that, you guys can bring to this guy with your moon kelp. That'll help, of course, sweeten your deal. But yeah, you guys will go back to the ship. How much of the moon kelp would you like to bring back with your leftovers?
I'm gonna sit there and talk about religion with this guy. I'd like to tell him about a god is called the coin.
Where'd you get that from? That's neat. Of course, this is something from your old inventory. Coins being very rare in the world these days. No wonder you based your whole religion on it.
I flip the coin, look at it. Give parking lot attendant advanced scurvy. Using the advanced scurvy.
I get a save for my parking lot attendant to not get scurvy. Of course, he's going to get fruit soon, and that should help. But I got a 17.
That
Scurvy? Alright, this guy must have had some fruit recently. Meanwhile, back in the ship, everyone besides Argyle, how much drugs do you want to take back with you when you leave? Greenpoint/Gloms-wise. I guess you need Zhaoshan to tell you how much there is available, but how much do you want to carry around after that?
Yeah, like 400 points.
So let everyone have an ounce on them?
Yeah, everybody said that's 4 of this.
3, because Argyle's not there, unless you want to give someone an extra bag to take to Argyle, which you can do.
Yeah, we want to do that.
I'm more of a camel For this purpose, I'm not good at like money stuff in general, so nobody should actually let me sell this. I'm probably just going to give it away if you're not careful.
We'll take some drugs back to Argyle. We're back at the shack with the guy. He can provide area, which you guys don't need. He can provide rides to the casinos, which you guys do need if you guys would like to get a ride. There are 2-person vessels or 4-person vessels. There are 4 of you, so I mean, you can take 2 2-person vessels or 1 4-person vessel.
Go split the party.
Alright, you guys want to arrange for 1 ride altogether?
Yeah.
2 gloms per person, so 8 gloms to arrange this ride.
Why do people have gloves? Do you want some flowers?
He'll take him, but that won't pay for the ride. He's got to pay the driver.
No, that's
Alright,
okay.
so-
You can keep those flowers. Can I give that guy my weed?
Stop it. I'm going to... He puts his
So
hand
good
out
starts
for-
handing out weed. There was like, no.
There's
No.
like
No,
fistfuls of it
I'll
from
pay
my
it.
pocket.
I'll pay. I'll pay. Don't worry about it.
How much moon kelp do you want?
Stop it.
I have this much on me.
He's got 70 gloms to blow on Moonkelp.
You probably want more though, right?
What's that, 50 green points worth? Does that seem fair?
I'll just put it in a separate box for party funds.
He will call for a ride for you guys, which Nikali has also generously paid for with his drug money and other money. So what looks like a hovering fan boat will sort of approach. So it's sort of a hovercraft with a large spinning blade on the back that propels it forward. Got a driver and room for 4. Driver appears to be a droid with 1 red eye. It makes squeaking and beeping noises at you guys. Hop aboard if you wish.
Will do.
It asks you to choose your destination between the 3. A little panel pops up. You can either pick De Luxard, Yordigus Height, or Wowewe.
The one with the most criminal elements, maybe?
Would you like to ask for advice? I mean, the droid doesn't seem to be good for information, but before you pull away, if you want to ask your parking lot attendant for that kind of advice, a knowledge local or diplomacy would get you that.
I got a 12.
21 on diplomacy.
Zirhi is going to get the most information. Probably just makes friends with this parking lot attendant with that friendly cat-like face. So you'll learn that the De Luxard is a very high-stakes gambling den, but it's mostly just games of chance that you would find at any other casino. Just high stakes, no house. This is all gambler versus gambler. So you might find some shady dealers there, although it's not always the busiest place because it's one of the fastest places to lose a bunch of money. Yordigus Height, on the other hand, has games of skill and tests of performance. So lots of dexterity challenges, and people can show off their performance abilities or other skills, professions. Games of that sort are available there. Wowewe is more bare-knuckle brawling, the fighting arena.
Alright.
So all 3 will have some criminal element, but De Luxard's more gambling, Yardigus Heights is games of skill, and Wowewe is bare-knuckle brawling.
Go to the bare knuckle brawling place.
Righteous.
You can give that advice to your teammates, and it seems like Nikali's on board. You can punch the button on the droid since you seem to be in the driver's seat there, the front seat. Beep
Let's
boop.
do it.
You guys head to Wowewe, which will be out of range of the Zhaoshan. So you guys can pull up. It's, like I said, a large ship floating in this orange foam. The droid craft you're on will pull up next to a landing deck where you can get off, and then within moments you'll be able to get into a controlled environment where you can remove your helmets and have safe, breathable air. This has all happened before you guys have run out of air, luckily. Even Argyle, it's a pretty quick trip to this floating building. You guys can be safe and inside, no problem. Loading deck's about halfway up Wowewe. The floor you guys come out on seems to be rows and rows of rooms in a circle above several fighting arenas that's separated by several levels you can look down upon. And the higher up you go, of course, probably the more difficult the fighting levels are, the larger the prize money, the more difficult the gambling, stuff like that. But there seem to be several different layers of fighting arenas. And rooms to stay in. Places to buy food, vending machines, things like that, but nothing like the Fungalamo land where there was free drinks and free food and stuff abound. Everything here seems to be for play. But you guys are at Wowewe.
Darren would like to look for somebody shady who looks like they might want to buy some drugs.
Everyone here looks shady and like they would like to buy some drugs. There are about 90 or so people in the general area that you can see just from where you are. Now, they're not like right up next to you or anything, they're more spread out than they were in the Homeland, so you have to like go up to people and start talking to them. But there's no shortage of workers, crew members that have stopped here for stuff. Like I said, not as packed as where you just left, but plenty of people that look shady enough to buy drugs, or at least like they wouldn't rat on you if you tried to sell them drugs. Most of people are at least that cool.
But I approach the person that's wearing nicest clothing.
That might be an employee, but you can easily do that.
Sure.
Approach a well-dressed employee. Short, red skin, probably be a foot or two shorter than you.
Okay.
Very short. Shorter than Tomoko, even, by a couple of inches. Little red man, but in a very, very fancy suit. He'll nod when you approach.
So what's the deal around here, darling? I just got to town, and where does one go to find fun? Fun or find fun?
He starts making barking noises and then slaps his helmet. Just notice that he's wearing a very form-fitting helmet with a microphone. And then the yapping noises start coming out of the other end of the helmet as common speech. Welcome to Wawaway. Bare knuckle brawling at its finest. No weapons, no armor. Fighters just going at it the way nature intended. All fighters are scanned for enhances, held in a waiting locker room before the battle to ensure perfect fairness. All fights are fair here at Wawaway. Sign up for a fight or just enjoy and gamble on the matches. If you need any assistance, we're here for you. Look for me or anyone wearing this outfit. And he points to his very fine garb that is blue and yellow.
Oh, well and good, darling, but you didn't answer my question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was your question? What was your question?
Where does one go if they would like to purchase recreational items?
Like jump ropes? Yo-yos? Rubik's Cubes?
I'm talking about
Drogas! Oh, I'm sure there's some authorized conglomerate vendors in the nearby vicinity if you have a ship. Here in Wobaway, we're against the use of substances that abuse the body. If that's your bag, I mean, that's you, but I wouldn't recommend using drugs if you're gonna fight in the arena. Definitely frowned upon.
recreational.
Yeah, sounds fun. Sounds real fun. I'm sure you could get them. I personally don't sell them. We don't sell them here at the Wobaway. But, I mean, there's lots of people, shady types around. I'm sure someone's got them.
There he just throws her hands in the air and walks away.
There are vending machines for food and drink. There's no stores for buying illegitimate or illicit drugs, but there are a lot of shady people around that probably are buying or selling them between each other, and no one seems to care. There are private security here, but the security here seems to be more concerned with casino business than what people are doing in their own private time with their own shit. As long as you don't start shooting people up or starting a fight, causing trouble here in the Wobaway, then they are not really going to be paying much attention to you, unless you're detracting from their business.
Is there anybody that I can see that looks like they are currently dealing drugs? Do I see any deals happening that I can be robbed?
Roll a perception check.
19.
Of the 90 or so people you see in the vicinity just looking around up and down, these like rows of rooms and balconies and stuff, they don't seem to be a lot of people clustered together. There are groups of one or two that seem people that know each other. There don't seem to be anyone like coming up and whispering to people or any kind of shady like handshakes going down. There's no obvious drug dealing happening at the moment, no. Most people look like the type of people in space that would be fine if it was happening, but it doesn't seem to be happening right now.
I want to approach the next closest two people then.
Yeah, you can walk up some folks. Would you like your allies to follow you?
They can decide on their own free will.
Yep. I was mainly asking for Nikali because he's the most intimidating one, and he already said yes. So you'll walk up to some people.
Entire caravan of drug dealers.
Yeah, there's only 4 of you this time. I will say it's still a pretty intimidating 4, but at least there's only 4 of you now. You can approach 2 people that are kind of hanging out, getting ready for a fight, just talking to each other.
Zerhi wants to kind of make figure eights around them and like rub herself against them in a very cat-like manner as she walks up and starts speaking to them.
Diplomacy.
15.
Well, that's a very appropriate thing in your culture. Some cultures don't find that as appropriate, but 15's not bad. They're not going to try to get in a fight with you, yell at you. They just sort of like have weird looks on your face as you're sort of curling around them. Although they're not terribly off foot, they're not pushing you away or rejecting you or anything. They just kind of have a look on their face like, what does this lady want? Could be, your culture's different than theirs. They don't want to say anything, but it's obviously semi-uncomfortable for them, although they're not outwardly showing it too much. They're a little off-put, but not violently so or anything.
Oh, good evening, my darlings. How are you?
Fine, I guess. You?
Fantastic, simply fantastic. Even better now that I've met you. I have the finest of moon kelp on me today, darlings. How can I be of help to you? Is my question.
It's a big space out there, I didn't realize we'd met. Moonkelp. I haven't had moonkelp since college. You got moonkelp?
Good moon kelp, darling. It's never a question of if we've met or not. Everybody's friends. We're just waiting to become friends. So now that we're friends, how much moon kelp can I sell you today, my darling?
Gee golly, my name's Egbert. What's your name?
Zerhi?
Well, Zerhi, now we are friends.
No, darling.
Zerhi? I can't do it. Zerhi?
Sure, darling, sure, that's fine. But never you mind. How much moon kelp, darling, can I interest you in?
This wide-head alien species creature with very thin lips and a very short tongue has problems rolling his R's, but apparently has plenty of gloms to spare. He'd be willing to buy a 900 worth of it off of you.
What now?
Green point for glom trade. If you have 900 green points worth of this stuff, he's got 900 gloms. Just take it off your hands right now.
He says, oh, that's fantastic, darling. That's such a good amount of money. This is the best moon kelp you will have ever had in your entire lives. And for 900 gloms, I can give you 500 moon kelp?
Diplomacy?
23.
I don't know you, but this better be some good shit for that kind of markup.
Darling, it's the best, I promise.
Alright, you mind if I spark some up real quick? Try it out?
Absolutely.
Alright, he pulls out an apparatus. It's a little electric bong. Lights it up.
Like he hasn't had moon college.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a multi-purpose vape for all kinds of space drugs. Don't worry, there's lots of space drugs out there that require this type of device. I mean, he's gonna enjoy your moon kelp, but want to offer you 800.
Simply beating me down. That's the best.
I mean-
You're gonna get the best deal of the day for that.
This guy apparently hasn't smoked since college, so he's willing to throw out that extra bit there. He's gonna have a good weekend here at the Wawa Way.
Is your friend, Owen? Still friends here?
Oh, they're gonna share that as a bunch.
Oh, no, no.
Oh yeah. They're not interested in buying anymore. These two at least.
There, he would like to move on to the next.
Yeah, you can move on to some more groups. Like I said, they're kind of spread out here, but you can move among the crowd. You want to just like go right into selling drugs again as soon as you meet some new people?
Absolutely.
All right, yeah, walk right up. Roll diplomacy.
Similar approach as the last guy, just running her mouth and basically pushing drugs.
You're gonna walk up as they're talking about a creature called a Sipu, and they're all cracking jokes about the big Sipu and telling tall tales about it as you approach, and just right away start trying to sling drugs.
Speaking of seafood, darling, so I've got the finest moon kelp here that's actually called Sipu. Would you believe that particular strain is what I have today for you, darling?
They don't seem interested in drugs in any way. They're here for just the fights. Sort of like shrug you off almost immediately. They go back to their conversation about this big Sipu. Argyle and Tomoko follow as you guys approach another group, I assume.
Yep.
A fight begins as you guys approach this next group. You guys are in the mid-level, so it's sort of a medium-level fight. Decent fighters. Bare knuckle brawling it out. And the next group when you approach seem very engrossed because the fight has just begun, but you can try to interrupt them with diplomacy.
Unnatural 20.
You can interrupt them really quick.
Gentlemen, I see that you're here to watch the fight, so I won't be very long. What I do have is the finest of moon kelp to sell you right now, so let's get this transaction done before the... What do you say? I've got 50 for 100?
Seems like a lot. How about 50 for 50?
I'll tell you what, guys. If you just buy in bulk, I'll do you 250 for 400.
They sort of talk amongst themselves. They'll go for it. Trade is made. Beep boop. Your cards are swiped.
I want someone who looks like they would buy in bulk. So I want somebody who looks like they're super shady and like really want some drugs.
Yeah, the groups in this area seem more mingling, crew types, but based on the signs and labeling of stuff, if you go up higher, there are bigger fights with higher rollers, and maybe the higher rollers will buy larger amounts of moon kelp.
Yeah, that'd be about that.
You guys want to go up a few floors? You guys will try to board an elevator, and it'll require you to swipe your glom card. Does anyone have at least 5,000 gloms on their glom card?
Oh, fuck no.
Wave my claw ring at it and use on the doors.
The doors will open and close all you want, but the elevator won't go up or down. You can open the doors with the wave of your hands, no problem, unlike anybody else could. Everyone else has to press a button, but the elevator does not go up or down at your command. And if during the period of time you guys want to unload the rest of your supply and only make 100 glom profit, if you're okay with only 100 glom profit on the rest of your supply, no? I say you can automatically do it if you're just willing to like dole out little amounts at that. But if not, you go see a little blue and yellow vested red face man.
Yep.
Oh, how can I help you? Would you like to gamble on a fight or sign up for a fight?
Both.
Wonderful. Do you have representation?
What?
Oh, which one of you is the fighter?
Now the blah. And that guy.
To fight here in the Wawa Way, you need representation,
That
management.
would be me, darling.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, see, this is working out so well.
I'm both trying both of my fighters.
Oh, that's wonderful. And have you ever fought here at Wawa Way before?
Other fighters of mine.
Oh, so no record yet. So you guys have no known record. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So amateurs, you want to go down a few floors. That's where you're going to start out your fights. You won't make as much money. What you want to do is go down there. It's the next arena below this one, so it's a little darker. You're going to have to put up prize money. So if you're the manager, you're going to have to put up the money that you're willing to gamble on your boy here and see if anyone's willing to take the challenge.
Darling, that's no problem at all. No problem.
Yeah, take the elevator down. It should be easy. No restrictions for going down, only for going up, you know.
Such as life.
Yeah, of course, once you're down there, you have to have a certain credit level to get back up to the middle floor, so don't lose too much money or you'll be stuck down there.
How much money are we willing to gamble? All of it? All in?
If you have that much faith in me, but I warn you now, right?
Sometimes I'm an
Very,
asshole.
very cruel.
So basically, that's what I'm doing. Alright then, so I want to find next attendant and sign Nikali up and...
Alright, so you guys want to go downstairs and sign up for some amateur fights? Amateur bare-knuckle boxing. Alright, so they'll have it, of course, there's weight and class, so it's going to be, if you're a large-sized creature, you're going to fight other large-sized creatures, of course. But you'll both be without armor and without weapons, without any sort of enhancement. So they will test you before the match. And you'll be, you and your manager will be able to isolate before the match with an attendant to be watched over before the match in a locker room before the match. Your manager has to put up the prize money. Any competitor will have to match that amount of prize money. The winner of the fight will get to keep that prize money. You can also gamble on the side if you want to, but you have to find people to gamble with, basically. If you want to go around and find people to make side bets with, you can do side bets. But otherwise, if you win a fight, you get all the prize money. You want to sign up Nikali or Argyle first? I assume Nikali, just knowing how aggro that guy is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like chomping at the bit. He's like, that's the whole reason we came to this place, right? I want to fight something. So once you put down the money, sign up Nikali, the two of you will be separated from the rest of the group, which will include Argyle and Tomoko. So Argyle and Tomoko, you'll be up in the stands able to watch. You're now in a lower part of the ship. It's darker. It's a little dingier. This is not as well taken care of as the upper levels. And there's still some vending machines with food and drinks, but not much else down here. Except this mat in the middle, the big ring in the center where you guys can fight. Nikali, Zirhi are separated. Do you guys do anything while you're out here? Do you want to make any side bets or any nonsense? You don't have a card, so you have no way to do that. So Argyle, do you make any side bets while you're out here or do any sort of mischief?
I want to sell some drugs.
You got some time until the fight starts while they're in their locker room. Would you just want to do some diplomacy checks and talk to people, or how you want to sell your drugs?
Ooh, I got 8.
Yeah, not very charismatic, and they seem pretty engrossed in the fight, so they kind of shoo you off as well when you're trying to sell your drugs. Like, come back after the, they seem to be like, come back after the fight, maybe we'll talk, but like right now they're pretty focused on what's going on and don't want to be bothered.
Alright, then I'll come back later.
Alright, you wait around. Meanwhile, in the locker room, Nikali, being stripped of all your armor and weapons, you can lock them away here.
Lock boy.
Your manager, and you can set a code, store all your belongings. We'll scan you for any enhancements or anything like that. Make sure you're not magically or otherwise alien enhanced. They'll check you for other hidden items. Make sure you got nothing on you. You seem clean. I don't have to roll because I know you're clean. So you're going to go in there just in your loincloth and whatever, and your sunglasses. Now your manager Zirhi has put down how much money in the prize bucket.
1,000.
yeah, that's how much it does affect.
Drop the wad. Alright, you drop a big wad, 1270.
Go fuck up.
Yeah, if he wins, you double it, and if he loses, you just walk away with none of that money. Either way, it's no pressure. Nikali, no pressure. Let me get a beer, then we'll roll for initiative. Yeah, this will actually probably work for your favor, so.
Get out of this to get to the next level if you don't make it.
Well, y'all still have to move something, so get some back.
I have some money.
During the fight, you have to wait in the locker room. You can watch from there. There's view screens. But Zeta here, you're going to still be isolated, watching with a little red man attendant in there with you. But you're still going to enjoy the fight from in there. Fun for you. And there's a vending machine in there as well if you want a snack or drink. Otherwise, Nikali, you can enter the ring.
I do so.
And across from you is a large lizard-like man. Scaly skin, pink bulgy eyes, sharp gnarly teeth,
Oh,
4 arms. Roll for initiative.
6.
I got an 18. I'll go first.
There you
Oh, I rolled a 19. That's a 26.
That's a hit.
7 damage as he slams you in the chest.
I'm going to hit him in the face. I'm going to activate my martial flexibility, and then I'm going to get into crane style, and then I'm going to hit him in the face.
He's already up in your shit, so yeah, it works for me.
20,
20's a hit.
15 damage.
15?
I hit very hard.
Yeah, oh, I know. You just shocked this big lizard man. Like, rippled when you hit him. He's definitely stunned immediately upon your attack. He's going to try and grab you with a 14 CMB.
My CMD very much higher. Much higher.
Yeah, he can't seem to get you in a headlock.
Especially in crane style.
You should have went for your one leg. That would have been smarter.
Alright, I'm going to brawl with fury. I rolled poorly. First one. And the second one I rolled as 17. Yeah,
17's a hit.
I didn't count the martial flexibility thing I did. But I rolled poorly. I only did 10 damage.
Only 10 damage. You big blue bastard. He's going to try to swing on you. I only got a 12 to hit your strength. I'm rolling really shitty, so yeah, this guy's not able to hit you. Already looking pretty beleaguered. Pretty swift fight.
Oh, you're not going to believe it. Crit. Oh,
So yeah, this is definitely going to be a KO shot. You can tell when your fist is about to hit this guy in the face. You're about to KO this guy with this hit.
Alright, and that
I'm
is
guaranteed.
roll an extra d8. 16 plus 5 is 21 damage.
Yeah, you KO this guy. You don't murder him, luckily,
Oh, yeah.
but he's knocked way out. He is out.
I'm gonna just like slow down, like
Yeah.
slow clock. You can see all the ripples.
Spit, tooth comes out. He hits the mat. The very small crowd. Like I said, it's not a very big crowd out here. Probably only about 30 or so folks down here. It seems to be like the dregs, like the poor members of the crews that are stationed here. And they seem to enjoy that very quick fight. Some money changes hands in the crowd. And of course, since your manager bet a big prize on you, you get that money right back from the manager of the lizard folk. So you guys walk away with the big winnings. Yeah, but then your match is over. You can rejoin your manager. You got to watch the thing on the screen. She didn't watch it live like everybody else, but she got to see you virtually perform.
I'm gonna go in though.
And I'm sure she's excited that you doubled the money and didn't lose the money.
I'm gonna go give her a giant high five.
To be clear, your hand is the size of like 4 of her hands. If she had 4 hands. You can act excited when you return to the locker room.
Blood for the blood god.
There he's doing nuts. She's loving every minute.
Hey, you guys made good money.
But she's still totally loving this too.
We now have collectively 2,540.
Very good money.
For, what was that, 18 seconds of work?
Yeah,
Not bad.
You can't beat that. Argyle wanted to play.
Yeah.
Alright.
You can test him out in the ring. How much would you like to put down on the prize for Argyle in a bare-knuckle fight? No armor, no weapons, no enhancements.
I'm gonna bet 500, but I'd also like to pull Argyle aside before we go down.
That's fine also.
Gonna let Argyle know that I'm going to attempt something.
Oh
See how that works out for us.
Sense motive?
I basically want to attempt to cast an enhancement on Argyle, but then I'm also going to attempt to memory lapse the guy who checks for enhancement.
Sure.
I mean, you've seen stuff posted. If you fail, you'll never be able to manage another fighter here. Like, if you, the manager, are caught cheating, you'll never be able to manage another fighter. Which won't stop you guys from ever doing things here again, but it'll stop you from managing fighters in the future.
I mean, we can not do that, but the big thing basically is not that I think you needed to win, it's the thrill of getting...
You want to see if you can get away with it.
But if you want, we can do this above ground if you just want to go beat the shit out of something and walk away.
Oh no, I would vastly when I fight, and I have no moral objection.
I figure as well, like, and this is me talking to Argyle, planning this as well, that's one of the reasons I was putting a little bit less money down as well, is just in case we get thrown the fuck out, we didn't just
lose a bunch of money
down the garbage.
Alright, you guys want to go into there and try this stuff? Put up your 500 gloms and sign up Argyle? Under the same management, so they'll recognize you as manager. You're now managing 2 fighters. So yeah, you guys can put up your 500 gloms up front, and you and Argyle can be taken to the locker room just like you and Akali were, where you're watched by an attendant.
While blatantly the attendant is watching, I'm going to pull out my bullwhip, and I am going to whip Argyle's hands with them, which will put the legacy weapon charm on them.
Alright, roll, see if I notice that. He's gonna watch you. I think that's weird. Of course, he's got to perform a scan before the fight begins, so he won't think anything weird about it right away. Before the fight begins, we'll try and scan Argyle. It's gonna, I mean, he's using a device to scan things, so even though I rolled low, it's gonna beep, beep, beep on his hands. Whoa, there's something going on.
This is where I would like to cast a memory lapse, so I whip him with the bullwhip, get a will save.
I rolled a 7, so how much of my memory do you wipe?
Yeah, everything's white.
What just happened?
Yes, it goes back to...
Like just 6 seconds. So you might even remember you whipping that guy's hands, but just think it was just kinky and weird and not think anything else of it. They're able to go out there to face someone the same size and hopefully skill level as you.
Alright.
Roll for initiative. Roll a 16.
Thanks.
You go first, Argyle.
Charge hand in via flight,
You can fly at a guy.
and attack him with my claws.
Roll that attack.
18.
It's a hit.
First, oh yeah, plus 1. 19.
It's a hit.
And then my second claw attack is a 20, not natural.
Also a hit.
5 and 7.
12 total.
Yes.
I rolled a 7 versus your AC.
Yeah,
That's really sluggish. I mean, you're dealing with like a very gooey, sluggish-looking creature here, so it just like sort of like lunges towards you and flops and doesn't hit you.
I'd like to attack again with my claws. 12.
That's a miss.
17.
That's a hit.
Not an 8 damage.
Rolled a 5. Maybe it's because you're hovering above, and this is like a sluggish creature, so it always keeps trying to lunge towards you, and just flops over, like a gloopy solid. Like it keeps trying to like lunge towards you, but can't reach because you're flying, hovering above. You're in the perfect attack position. Your turn again.
Double claw again. 21.
That's a hit.
And I got a 13.
Miss.
Got a 4.
4 damage. That time I got an 18 versus your AC.
It misses.
That's its whole turn.
Yeah, so double claw. Ooh, 7. Oh my goodness. Bonuses.
Not bad. I rolled another 5. I rolled 2. It was 5. I don't know, is my unluckiest day ever, or does you guys' luckiest day ever? Either way. So yeah, this slug-like creature, obviously not cut out for this fight, and no one should have signed it up for it. Once again, fails to hit you. Was obviously assuming their enemy would be ground-based, but you not being so has obviously causes some difficulty. And it's your turn again. It's in a weakened state. It's slumped over now.
I rolled a natural 1.
Oh, so you're gonna fall down to the ground with it, coming after it. You're now prone next to it, which means you now lose your dex bonus as well. I only rolled a 14, though.
I That's not enough.
So yeah, the slug tries to lurch over on you, but you are a wily metallic man creature, and you're able to dodge. You're probably about to take this thing out. Pretty obvious to you now, this thing's weakened.
A natural 20.
Oh yeah, no problem taking this thing out.
And a 7 on second.
7's a miss, of course, then yeah.
And I rolled a 5 for damage.
Alright, so not a lot of damage, but enough to knock this thing barely unconscious. It's not moving anymore. It's hard to tell, of course, it's a slug, so they wait a second. The crowd waits. There's a 6 seconds worth of silence where the crowd waits to see if it moves. And then it doesn't move, and then the crowd erupts in cheers as everyone that bets on you wins money, everyone that didn't loses money. Money changes hands in the crowd. Purse is given over to your manager. Zerahi, you make another 500 gloms. So
Alright, we have 3,040 gloves.
So you guys are raking in the dough in those 2 fights. You guys can reassemble in the crowd after those 2 fights, making some good money. Meanwhile, back on the Zaoshan, you're lonely, and also there are more ships arriving now. Like, it was pretty quiet here before, but now there are 2 ships arriving. Roll perception check Zaoshan as the 2 ships arrive near you.
Got a 26 perception check.
The 2 ships coming near bear the same markings as the ship you most recently had an altercation with. The famous All-Star logo. Either going to land on the same barge you're on or one of the other ones nearby.
Heck, yeah, I'm looking up Dr. P and our man from Flawed,
Kes Blix.
Cass Blix.
Ribbit.
So yeah, within 30 seconds or so, I'm sure for both of you, you're out of your pods. This isn't imminent. This isn't like happening right now, so it's not like alarms are going off or anything. So you'll probably both climb out of your pods around the same time and see each other and realize that besides the 2 of you, no one else is awake or around in this area. So either everyone else is still in their pods or everyone else is somewhere else. But it's just the 2 of you. Your fuzzy animal from the planet's running around, Dr. P. It's kind of running around. Its hair looks kind of matty, and it's kind of like aggressive when you first get out of your pod, humping your leg and biting you when you come out. And it has matted hair. It looks a little rougher than it did when you first got it. But otherwise, looks like it has been out for a while. Like however long you've been in stasis, it's hungry, it's angry, it hasn't been washed.
We'll say, I got an 8.
So you are the more polite version of yourself, the Mr. Von Hohenheim.
I'm Von Hohenheim.
You are Von Hohenheim.
Mr. V is my friend.
Mr. V is everyone's friend. He buys drinks for everyone. He spots you if you need money. He's the much friendlier version of the 2. Is a dissociative personality, but knows Dr. P exists, and just happens to be the more friendly version of him.
If I'm Mr. Von Hohenheim, I would immediately find out where my children are. Find Zapod, Gilbrox, Spartacus, and Nancy. I want to see what they're up to. I want to make sure they're going
You can
along in
either
their studies.
you can either call out for them yourself, or you can talk to Zaoshan, have Zaoshan page them throughout the ship. I'm sure they're easily located by Zaoshan or by yourself. That wouldn't be a problem.
Maybe I'll reach out to Zaoshan and say, will you send my children towards me?
3 little kids come running in as you and Kes there are like stretching out, just getting out of your pods, moving your muscles around again, getting ambulatory, touching your toes, reaching for the sky.
I'll caress their mandibles and their antennae and be like, are you guys making some good drugs?
They're in there drying out leaf and stuff like you've taught them to do. They're doing their jobs, helping maintain your constant supply of space kelp in dry and oil form. And spice, they're doing what they can with that as well, yeah. It's not as prevalent as your moon kelp, I don't think, but they are doing that as well, whatever you taught them.
Alright, well, I'll tell them to carry on, little ones, and I'll see what Kes wants to do. Should we ask Zaoshan maybe where our compatriots went? Like, why are we alone on this ship?
It's just the 2 of you, and usually it is a much larger crew you run with.
I spent many a moon cycles stuck in the greater void in the inner field of my brain, and now I'm finally becoming awake, and I see my friend Dr. P / Mr. V, and I too would like to find my other compatriots.
So, a Zaoshan hologram appears, it bows, and says, they have gone to the nicest casino in this complex. You should join them, post-haste. We are outside of my communications range. I am very lonely here without them. We are on a platform with multiple casinos that branch off from the central platform of varying clientele and prestige. Alright, well, if you can give us a map to their semi-direct location, we'll take that, or give us an idea of where we need to go, and I'd say, Cass, what do you say? You want to bounce? Mr. Von Hohenheim is down to have some cocktails and bet on a fight or 2.
I am down for companionship and libation.
We sent them to Wilwaway. That's the name of the casino. If you just go outside, you need a rebreather, or you need a way to breathe the toxic atmosphere, and you go and you ask for transportation to Willow.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I mean, Mr. von Hohenheim, has to use the respirator normally. So
yeah, Mr. von Hohenheim, luckily this atmosphere isn't unbreathable. It's just heavily polluted. For you, you'll actually be able to breathe clearly here. You won't be raspy at all. You'll be able to use your nice, clear, clean voice. This would be like breathing clean air for you because it's so filthy that it's actually good for your voice and good for your throat.
People actually get to see my face for the first time?
If you wanted to take off your mask, you could. You could actually breathe the air here if you felt like it. Although if you breathe in the toxins, it helps fuel your suit, so it doesn't hurt you to have it on. But you can take your mask off if you like here and breathe fine. Although Kessblix, if he goes outside, will probably choke on the air.
I need something for my fragile reptilian lungs.
And you will notice that all the suits you guys had are now gone. They've been taken, or being used at this point.
I would ask Zalshan and Kess, what can we do to get you to this casino? How can we get there?
Some of our foliage to craft a makeshift COVID mask to wrap around myself of grass and mosses to help try to filtrate the polluted air.
You want to try to make some sort of plant filter.
Yes, can we use a Zalshan?
And you have what, horticulture as a profession or something? Do you have something you can roll for that?
Gardening.
Yeah, you can roll your gardening for that. See if you can make some sort of gardening mask.
We know what the air purifiers are.
That might not be as good as a suit, but at least
Snake
it'll,
plants?
help.
Ferns.
Yeah, some
There's some
moss,
pretty obvious
some
ones.
holes in it, we can help out a little bit.
Won't be a full space suit, but yeah, something to filter the air. I get that.
It'll look a little bit like Swamp Monster, but that's
Can I
okay.
roll a knowledge nature, or what do you want? Well, I mean, I'm trying to help out in a natural way. I'd be much better off if I was helping out with, engineering or arcana.
You could engineer the plants that he identified.
Yeah, engineering might be an okay role if you're trying to help him create something, build something that would filter the air.
Alright.
Unfortunately, it's up to Mr. B because I rolled a 5.
I rolled a natural 1.
Yeah, you guys are... So between the plants that are growing in the Arboretum right now, a lot of it is moon kelp, spice, some weird kudzu-like vine, and its opposite. And there's some food, but you have trouble finding anything that can be made into this kind of a mask, together with your expertise combined.
How far away is the closest airlock? Can I carry him to the casino so we can get in there?
You guys are on an open-air platform that's floating above a swamp, so if you leave the ship, you'll be outside exposed to the atmosphere. The closest structure is sort of a little shack on this platform where the parking attendant is located. Yes, once you get in the buildings, it's probably a regulated air environment. You're in a conglomerate space, so it's probably to human specifications, which are safe for your lungs.
Can I help Kess get to the across the platform to the gate?
Zalshan creates a Kessblix-ish hologram and says, I could cast an air bubble upon your head.
It's temporary, but it could help you guys get where you're going.
You have to run to the shack where they arrange the shuttles out of.
Yep, so let's head over to the station where we can get a ferry, and then hopefully you can hop into the ferry within 4 minutes, and we can get where we gotta go.
I think as long as you guys book it, you might be able to do it. So you go to a panel, Zalshan blows you up a little bubble in your head. You rush out of the ship, and you guys book it as fast as you can to the little shack where there's a grungy-looking, lumpy green man sort of watching the tube. But he greets you very warmly and offers you a ride to any of the 3 casinos here on this planet.
We're looking for a ride to the Huawei. What is it? What's it called?
If you say that, that's enough. The Huawei is definitely a different name than the other 2. He can arrange a ride for you, although he warns you that there's been warnings of swarms approaching, and so there might be surge pricing on the ride to the casino.
God damn it.
Ouch.
It's 40 gloms to get to the casino, but it can get you a quick shuttle there.
How about I roll a diplomacy to see, as Dr. Von Hohenheim, I'm going to be like, my friend, I know that it doesn't cost that much in fuel to get to this distance. I've already talked to my ship. I know how far we have to go.
You can even
So
see
what
the
we're gonna
casinos
do-
from here. They're not very far at all. But
Yeah.
you are running low on time. Every second you spend talking to this guy is a second that Kessblix loses in oxygen.
Well, I got a 22 on my diplomacy.
He checks his computer again, he punches in the prices. He says, oh, swarm's getting closer. The price went up to 60. An alarm starts going off.
While this is happening, is there any way that I can go into a meditative state and roll Constitution to see if I can bring my heartbeat down to a certain level where I increase the rate that my oxygen will last?
Or we can just run back to the ship.
I mean, you haven't used your whole 4 minutes yet, but you're definitely stretching it. You need to get a ride soon if you want to get a ride.
Mr. Von Hohenheim will be like, thank you for the offer, but I don't care for your rates. I'm going to head back to my ship and wait for a better time.
Wait for the swarm
How
to...
about that?
He says if you wait for the swarm to pass, the prices should go down.
My friend cannot breathe long enough unless you leave him inside of your cabin.
It's pretty small in there. You look like you would... I mean, you're a small guy, so you could probably fit, but it's not a very big place.
Be cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, he might let you in if you have a friendly role there, Kesplix, but...
Kes wouldn't be alone or abandon his
I
partner.
wouldn't leave you if you're going to stay there, of course. I don't want to pay 60. I'd rather be standoffish.
You guys can run back to the ship, too. That's fine.
Well, I'm just saying this is what Mr. Von Hohenheim would do. Just like, I would not be told how and when to pay for things. I will pay what I originally offered. That is it.
As you guys discuss it, like I said, an alarm is sounding as swarms
So, Kes,
approach.
Let's just go back to the ship.
To the ship!
There's feet there!
Alright, as you run back to the ship, you hear the buzzing sound of swarms approaching. And only just as you arrive back on board, like just swarms sort of surround the ship. You just want to wait for it to pass and then try to get a cheaper ride?
There's not a drop-off lane.
And if you wanted to try to pull up to the shack, you could, Zhaoshan. That's not impossible, I guess. But there are like demarcated parking spaces, and it looks like you're supposed to keep that area clear.
I'd say we're going to wait out the swarm.
This concludes our transmission. Tune in next time for more Dungeon to the Stars. This episode of Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater was sponsored by our fans and friends on Patreon. Donate today. Keep Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater alive.